You go to TNA in 2010 with Hulk, and I guess in this scenario, you really have become the Jimmy Hart. You're with him, and I wonder twofold. Hulk goes there, and no matter what the reality is, the expectation is going to be Hulk Hogan's going to TNA. This is going to be a game changer. Physically, he just didn't seem to be anywhere near where he would need to be for that to be a game changer. And for you, rightly or wrongly, people are going to judge you on what's good and what's bad. How were you feeling about it going into it based on those two things?
I was conflicted because Hulk and I were very close at the time. When you say Hulk wasn't in that good a shape and couldn't do some of the things he used to do, it was way worse than that. He was almost paralyzed. He was drinking a quart of vodka a day in order to get down fistfuls of Vicodin, Percocet, OxyContin. And these were all prescribed by doctors. He wasn't like scamming anybody. His back was so in his hips. He was in so much pain that the only way he could even get out of a car and walk into the building was to eat a fistful of Vicodin and drink 8 ounces of vodka. He was a wreck. That was number one. And because he was in so much pain, and he was going through a lot of other things, a divorce, all kinds of other horrible he couldn't deal with his business anymore, and he asked me to take over all of his, not just wrestling business, but his licensing, his merchandising, any opportunities that somebody wanted to pitch him all had to come through me. And at one point, he said, Eric, you have my complete authority. You can agree to whatever you want to agree with on my behalf. If someone's negotiating with you, they're negotiating with me. I didn't even have to go through his attorney. That was the level of trust that we each had, or we had for each other, but it was also more than that. It was indicative of where he was at mentally and physically. So TNA reached out to Hulk. They wanted Hulk. They didn't want me. Trust me, they didn't want me. They wanted Hulk. But Hulk wouldn't go to TNA unless I came with him to oversee his creative. I didn't want to go to TNA. I thought TNA was, this is going to sound arrogant, it was a step down. I had been to the mountaintop. I had defeated WWE for a period of time. I'd made WCW the number one wrestling company in the world. I ended up working in the WWE and worked with some of the biggest talent in the world on the biggest stage in the world. And then you got TNA, who's running a weekly television show on a soundstage in front of 350 people. It just didn't appeal to me anymore. But I was loyal to Hulk, and I thought, well, if I'm just doing creative for Hulk Hogan, I'm good with that. I didn't really get excited about it. I didn't need it. I was doing really well as I had my own television production company and was doing extremely well at that time. So it wasn't money motivated. I didn't feel the need to get back in the wrestling business, but I felt like I could help Hulk and I could do a pretty good job with his creative. So I went along with it. But Hulk was in no physical shape. He couldn't get in the ring. It took a long time before you saw Hulk Hogan in the ring. You'd see him on the ramp. He cut promos outside of the ring, but you very rarely saw him in the ring. And when you did, it took forever to get him in and to get him out.
And as his, being loyal to him, how tough was that for you, knowing that he is not going to be able to deliver anywhere near what the audience even thinks he could for 2010, never mind 1990?
That was hard. And it was hard because of the relationship I had with Hulk. I didn't want people to remember him at the end of his career when he was physically incapable of being the character they wanted him to be, because I knew he was disappointing the audience. And I knew, not to the same extent that I think I understand now, but even then I knew that this is going to end badly. This is not the legacy. This is not the way you want to end your career, having to eat a fistful of narcotics and a half a bottle of vodka just to be able to get to the ring. That's a sad way to end a career that was so powerful and meant so much to so many people. Another example of that was Ric Flair's last match. I don't know how many people saw Ric Flair's last match. It's not the way I want to see somebody that I love and respect go out. And it happens. It is not just in wrestling. How many boxers should have hung up the gloves? Muhammad Ali did it. I became friends with Muhammad Ali through professional wrestling. I traveled to Pyongyang, North Korea. I sat next to Muhammad Ali on a plane and for 3 hours or 3.5 hours, and Muhammad had Parkinson's disease so bad that he couldn't speak like we're speaking now, but he could whisper. He was perfectly understandable when he whispered to you. So as a result of that, I'm sitting on North Korean military transport, flying from Tokyo to Pyongyang, North Korea, and I've got Muhammad Ali sitting on my left, whispering in my ear, telling me about his life story. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had, and I think about regularly to this day. But Muhammad Ali did the same thing. He just hung on too long. And I think, why do the Rolling Stones still tour? They don't need the money. They tour because you get that, just like I'm getting right now from everybody in this room. This is why all day long I'm dragging my ass. This is the fourth night of a 5-night tour. I'm 68 years old, and I've been partying with this guy and his team every night after the show. All day long I'm dragging my ass, but the minute I get up on the stage, I feel like I'm 25 years old again. And I think that's the reason why the Rolling Stones and other bands like them continue to tour. It's not because of the money. It's not because of their ego. It's because of this relationship that you get, this feeling you get in your veins. It's an exchange of positive energy that you can't get anywhere else. It doesn't exist anywhere else if you're a performer. And that's why guys hang on too long. And to answer your question, yeah, I was concerned about Hulk, just like I was concerned about Rick. Just like we all get concerned about athletes that we love, and we go, dude, you don't need to do this. Quit doing it.